AD 2022 or 2022 AD. It's one or the other. I feel like I've had this album for a long time, and I kind of have. At least a couple months, like the whole summer. And I keep checking to see when if it's out to do a review on it, because you know, I don't know. And yeah, every week it's like not out. And I keep looking at my copy and going, well, okay, I didn't pirate it, but I've had it. So it's like then I saw that it's coming out September 13th, so it's like 2 more fucking weeks. So I'm not gonna wait on this anymore. We're gonna talk about it right now. AD 2022 is the umpteenth live Damned album, but I believe it's the first. No, it's not the first. It's the second kind of reunion live album. Final Damnation in 1989 was a reunion of the original 4, a live album that was recorded on that sort of half reunion, half whatever tour, where they had the old band come out, the original band come out and play half a set, and then they had the newer version play a set. Sounds like a pretty cool idea. I don't think it sounded that good on that tour, which is rare for them because they always sound great, and they do on this album. This is recorded in 2022, hence the name, on their reunion tour with the original band members of Brian James on guitar, Rat Scabies on drums, Dave Maney on vocals, and Captain Sensible on guitar. You know that. Oh no, on bass. He's playing bass. That's right. But if you're watching this video, it's, you know that. I always think it's funny, like, this is just a side thing, like in '77, when the decision was made that they needed another guitar player in the mix. And I often wonder what that conversation must have been like with the band, like, you know, I think we need another guitar. That's from Brian James' voice. You know, I think we need another guitar player. The captain's like, oh, great. Who are we gonna get to play bass? Well, you're gonna play bass. It's like, what the fuck happened there? You know, Captain must have been like, what? What do you mean? Another motherfucker's gonna come in here? I'm gonna be on bass? The other motherfucker in question was Lou Edmonds, who later went on to play with John Lydon and Pill, and I believe he's still in Pill now. Pill just actually put out a really good album last year. I think it's the best of the Pill reunion albums, but that's, you know, neither here nor there, nor anywhere. On 2022 AD, they sound like kids. They sound like kids. Like, it's fucking crazy. The energy level, the playing, the tightness, it's just great. The only one that falls a little behind sometimes is Brian, but, you know, I'm just glad he's with us. So, it's just funny, though, if you've heard the New Rose single they released for this, like, a few months ago, they have a video for it, too. The way he plays the little riff in the beginning, that sounds like me. You know, it sounds like me trying to do it in my fucking bedrooms. It's not great, but it, you know, it's cool. It's what it is. It's you know, they're probably not very labored over. I'm sure they didn't do a lot of overdubs. This is a Damned, you know, it's not Kiss. So it's probably as close to how it was as it's gonna be. And yeah, it sounds great. Like, the sound is great too. Like, the whole thing. It might be one of my favorite live albums that they've done. It just sounds incredible. They did a really good job sonically on this one, and the performance is also great. I watched a couple of the YouTube shows, and I don't know, I can't watch those too long. Even for my favorite bands, unless it's like archival stuff. Like, I'll watch something from the, you know, from the day. But whenever a new band's on tour and they're like, hey, we could, you know, see them on YouTube, it's like someone's, I mean, you know, I'm not dogging the quality. It's obviously just a fan was good enough to do, you know, the recording, but still, it's hard to watch through those kind of things. But yeah, I thought it was cool at the time, but I wasn't super, like, impressed with it as I am now listening to this thing. It's fucking great. It's fucking great. And there's a lot of good interaction with the crowd, too. There's a couple moments where, I don't know what they did, but they started singing something. I don't know if it was, like, some kind of, if it was a football thing or something, the crowd singing. And Dave's like, oh, Manchester, like a thank you, kind of, like he was, like, was some kind of heartwarming thing for him. And I don't know what it was. There's also some funny kind of banter in there, too. Captain talks, Rat talks, Brian doesn't. Another thing that I thought was great about this whole project, but that had nothing to do with the sound, is the aesthetic for this. They fucking brought it back to like 76. Rat's drums have the old logo on it, the bloody logo, like from the back of the first Damned album. The captain is dressed like a ship captain, like one of the old sailors kind of uniforms, and it's like an old sort of Captain Sensible look. It's like the classic, like late 70s, early 80s thing. And Dave, who has spent really this century dressed as Claude Rains for some reason. I mean, it's a cool look, but you know, it's the Invisible Man, and he's always got this big bulky kind of suit on, and you know, the cocktail napkin, and so it's cool, you know, it's him, but it's not as cool as old Dave. And he's fucking dressed up like old Dave. He's got the white face, black lipstick, black eyes. He's got like the silk shirt buttoned down the middle of his chest, the black gloves, and he's thin. If you squinted your eyes in that crowd, it looks like them from the fucking 70s. It's fucking really, really nice the way they did that. They didn't have to do that. No one was expecting that, you know? But it was cool to see them like that. And then seeing Dave like that especially. It's like, dude, why don't you look like this all the time? You know, but he's always got these big giant, you know how he looks. It's fine. I'm not, you know, it's him. He does his thing like that. But I just think this looks way cooler. Look what they did. I'm imagining it's just for those specific shows, but they should try to at least incorporate some of that older look into the newer look, because it's fucking cool. And I'm glad Rat is back in the band. He has this reunion of the original four was running concurrent with the band at the time, who had an album coming out called Darkadelic, which I did a whole year of build up to, almost. Like I went through every album and the road to Darkadelic and all this stuff. And then it came out and it was like, yeah, all right. It was good. It was all right, but it wasn't like, I don't know, kind of anticlimactic, you know? I mean, it's like, I don't know. I like all their new stuff. I think every time they put out an album, it's good. They never made a bad one. They never made a bad one. Even Not of This Earth has its charms. But, you know, for what is a damned album, pretty much a name only, you know? And Darkadelic is maybe their best one of the century. Definitely the best since Grave Disorder. But, I don't know, it's just not, it didn't, like, kind of grab me, you know, grab me by the balls there. So, yeah, I talked about them a lot, but this was the band, that was a band that was The Damned, and they'd stopped to do this little tangent of the original band lineup. So they had two things kind of going, well, not going at once, but you get the point here. Rat Scabies, though, was retained from the reunion tour and came back to the Stool, where he should have always fucking been. Like I know he had a problem with Captain in the fucking in the 80s, some kind of money bullshit, and I know there's like a problem with Paul Gray, but I mean, Captain and him did the Professor and the Madman albums like a couple years ago, so I don't know, it's like a waste, you know. It's a lot of, I hate when that happens. I mean, there are way more egregious kind of examples, like, you know, Pink Floyd is one, where, you know, you can't just fucking put it together. And I know what it's like. Anyone that's ever been in a band, even like a little shit fucking pub band like mine. Well, we did play nightclubs too, which were a little bit bigger. But the there's always going to be problems because people have. You got to work with other people. You know what I mean? And there's egos and sometimes it gets to the point where it's like you really like don't like the people you're with and never want. Not me. It never got that bad with me, but it does get bad. It does get bad. And for whatever reason, it took them a long time to work it out. But it's worked out, and now they're back together. And they're, in essence, they have the early 80s lineup now. Paul Gray on bass, Banian, Sensible, and Scabies, my favorite lineup. They made my favorite damned albums, which is the Black Album and Strawberries. I also love the Friday the 13th. That was a good EP too. I wish that band had recorded more stuff. And like, just, they always had a problem in the business end. Like those songs, those albums were so good. Like they should have a much higher stature than they did. But whatever, I kid. This is devolved way past its original point. But the point is, yeah, the album's good. They do all the songs from the first album, of course. They do most of the ones you want, like 6 songs from Music for Pleasure, Problem Child, Stretch Your Case Baby, which actually wasn't on the album. It was a B-side. But they do it. Yeah, it's just fucking great. There's not much to say about it. Because it's like you listen to it and you say, yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's good. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing to say about it. It's just fucking great. And if you're a damn fan, you're getting it anyway. So this whole exercise was pointless, wasn't it? But you know, I like when we spend time together. So I guess anytime we can do that, there's some value there. All right, it's pouring out now. So yeah, damned. AD 2022 AD. Till next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.